Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Ajmera Realty and Infra India Limited Q1 FY 2022 earnings conference call. We would like to thank you all for joining us today to discuss our company's earnings conference call for the first quarter ended 30th June 2021. The financial statements, press release, and investor presentations are available in our filing with the stock exchange as well as on the investor relations section of our website, that is www.adel.co.in. Today on the call we have with us our director, Mr. Dhaval Ajmera, and Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Nitin Bagesi, who will give you a brief overview of the company's performance, which will be followed by the Q&A session. Before we proceed, kindly note any specific revenue or earnings guidance and anything said on this call which reflects our outlook for the future or which can be construed as forward-looking statement must be reviewed in conjunction with the risks that the company faces. Please note all the participant line will be in the listen-only mode and one can ask questions only after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Let me now invite Mr. Dhaval Ajmera to talk about our results. Over to you, Mr. Dhaval.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. Firstly, thank you very much for joining us for our earnings conference call for the first quarter fiscal year 2022. I'm pleased to inform that the overall scenario with respect to business in the first quarter of the financial year 2022 has been better as compared to the last year of our company. It has given a very good and a positive momentum, as a start in terms of the results for the first quarter. Obviously, the entire country has seen a lot of ups and downs with this pandemic coming in, and then there has been a second lockdown, which was part of the first 3 months of the quarter, and obviously the 2 months which were under complete lockdown. But still, we believe that, in spite of these lockdown being there was a good demand for residential. We have witnessed and seen as in terms of inquiries, in terms of interest, and people has, really been very shown that kind of interest for buying of apartments and offices in this quarter. So slowly and steadily we feel that normalcy is coming back. And we are seeing that post unlocking of restrictions, we are witnessing transactions in buyers' interest at all our projects. Obviously, with all these interests coming in, there has been other also. There are different factors also which are actually pushing those decisions, such as declining interest rates, customers' preferences to move from smaller flats to bigger ones with better amenities, preferences of brands, and track record driven developers has spurred the demand for residential properties. While the demand we believe could have been even more had the stamp duty concessions been extended further, which would have pushed the sales even more. But nevertheless, in spite of these stamp duty concessions not being around, we have witnessed a good demand in our sales. With reference to our company, I'm pleased to inform that we have been able to sustain our performance during this fiscal year 2021, and we have successfully continued with our robust growth performance during the first quarter of fiscal year 2022. We have reported growth on all parameters: sales, EBITDA, PAT, and debt reduction during the first quarter result of fiscal 2022. This continues with our theme which we started during our last conference call of the last year. That last result was that our company is gaining and successing or moving towards rise, and I'm very pleased to inform that we are really pushing our company towards that growth factor. Our financial performance is in line with the guidelines that we shared during the previous conference call of achieving robust and healthy financial results, and would like to reiterate that we expect to sustain robust growth performance for the fiscal year 2022. Our group approach for evaluating and acquiring new lands and projects is in line with our fundamental principles and according to us, which is suitable for the project, for the market, and of course for a company at large. This has been amongst the key factors that enabled us to sustain growth and profitability during the fiscal year 2022 despite of the challenging scenario. My endeavor to bring you business update for the quarter gone by before we deep dive into financial sections, I would just like to give you a small update about what we have done over the past quarter. As you know that the projects during the last quarter of 2021, we announced 3 projects which were worth around 500 crores and in different parts of Mumbai and Bangalore, and I am very pleased to say that we are progressing well and our execution is on time and in fact actually before time, and we've also seen sales in these projects in the first quarter of fiscal year 2022. We are on track for project execution which are on the verge of completion, that is 3 projects in Bombay and 1 in Bangalore to advanced stages of completion basket, and hence further sharpening the revenue visibility as we indicated in our last earnings call. Also, we are pleased to inform that we are very well focused and bringing more visibility of our new launches, as we had announced that we are going to launch 4 new projects in this year, and I am very pleased to say that one of the main projects out of the 4 which we are going to launch in this year is about 0.8 million square feet of our development in Wadala, and it is under the approval process. Out of the 1.5 million square feet which we had told that we will launch, 0.8 square feet is this one project which has a top line of 1500 crores and a very, very attractive EBITDA margin of around 40% as per our estimates. Our growth in the first fiscal year 2022 has been outcome for the strategic initiative RISE, which is pedestal of our 4 pillars representing each word. That is, R is reinventing the wheel and evolving with new times. I is initiating new strategies and trying to get new projects, new things which can help us grow in our company. S is creating supply creation of new projects. And E is example and exemplified strength of family and unity, which is our core of all these 4 pillars. We, in this regard to reinventing the wheel and striving the new normal, believe that flexible options for residential and commercial buyers is key towards becoming a preferred developer in the new normal. COVID pandemic has changed preferences and shifted demand towards customizing solutions and offering never before or never heard before ideas in the real estate space. So with reference to residential properties, people have realized the importance of working remotely, and the fact that they spend 3 to 4 hours on communicating from home to office has led people to probably buy spaces within their nearby to their workspaces, or probably have taken up small boutique offices where they have the flexibility of probably working from a small space and also being very near to their own home. With reference to commercial organizations, we are seeing that they are moving towards hybrid work culture, which has also helped them to curtail the sizes of offices, giving way to commercial models, which are core commercial workspaces of any organization. They have less restrictions and they have, basically small offices. But at the same time, we see that while the company evolves or while the country evolves towards a new normal once things are settled with this vaccination drive, we see that there will be different scenarios and demand for office spaces in coming times, and definitely commercial transactions and office demand is going to be on a great rise in the coming years. So with all this, what we see that overall the demand for real estate, in spite of no attractive attractions for stamp duty from the government, which was available up until March of 2021, still we have seen good demand coming up from the market, and also we are now witnessing a good number of inquiries for a long term for commercial transactions in the coming years. So with all this, what we see that, the pre-COVID era, where the millennials were always preferring to stay on rental houses, there we are seeing a shift which is coming towards, buying their own space, having their own investment and cutting down on their rental costs, which is, giving them a security of asset as well as their own space. So this is a major shift which we are seeing, and I feel this will continue to move forward as slowly and steadily India continues to rise towards its growth, and having an own asset is a major thing which probably every Indian follows. We are committed towards creating value in all our engagements with various stakeholders. Our journey towards rise to the occasion and persistence towards making best efforts to surpass the expectation of all the stakeholders shall always remain paramount to us. As a company, we believe that real estate will continue to show robust growth over the next few years, and we are very well poised to leverage on this growth opportunity. Our belief is well reflected in our strong revenue visibility of FY22, and we see that what we had targeted last year, and we are very hopeful that and confident that we will reach our target of at least 1.5 to 1.7x of our top line from what we are as against FY 2021, and this year we should be at least 1.5 to 1.7x in this year. So we are very confident about our robust growth, and our margins will continue to rise from what we are. And for further financial details, now I would request our CFO, Mr. Nitin Bhavsi, to please share some financial figures with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ajmera, and very good evening to everybody. At the outset, let me put up a perspective under which we are going to read and understand these financial results of the company. We have two comparable periods, one being YOY, which is Q1 FY21, which was being the first quarter under severe lockdown due to first wave of COVID-19 last year. Second being trailing quarter, which is Q4 FY21, which has been another extreme, which was full of activity period without much of the lockdown restrictions. With this backdrop, let me submit our unaudited consolidated numbers. Firstly, let me take you through the financial numbers. Our total revenue for Q1 FY22 stood at 136 crore as against 40 crores on YOY, that is Q1 FY21, and 80 crores on trailing quarter, that is Q4 FY21 comparison. We would like to highlight that revenue visibility, which we demonstrated in our last earnings call for FY21, have begun with high growth, almost about 70% compared to trailing quarter, which was Q4 FY21. The company reported EBITDA of around 34 crore in Q1 FY22 as compared to 13 crore and 26 crore for Q1 FY21 and Q4 FY21 respectively. We continue to face headwinds of raw material input cost pressure and hence the numbers. Our PAT stood at around 11 crore Q1 FY22 as compared to 2 crore and 12 crore Q1 FY21 and Q4 FY21 respectively. On YOY comparison, PAT is almost about 4.5 times as that was in Q1 FY21. However, taking indication towards future outlook based on these quarter numbers, we believe that growth journey has begun as we submitted on our earnings call FY21. On the operational front, we have further continued our march towards good performance. We have achieved sales of 111 crores from about 92,185 square feet, sold over 61 units during Q1 FY22. Further on sales advances, that is collection from customers, stood at 109 crores in Q1 FY22. On YOY comparison, SFT sold, sales value and sales advances are at 1.9 times, 2.4 times and 4.4 times respectively. We continued our march towards deleveraging by repaying almost about 46 crores during the Q1 FY22. On secured loans, we are almost on a one-time basis as compared to our net worth as on June 21. Let me take this opportunity to put up update on our promises. We have brought in strong visibility in revenue potential from our ongoing projects. Next one, we showcased our plans to launch about 1.5 million square feet in FY22. Let me inform you that a project at Mumbai at measuring about 8 lakh square feet is on its track with approval process undergoing, and about 1.5 lakh square feet project at Mumbai is on its schedule for expected launch in FY22. That makes almost about 1 million out of 1.5 million as we projected for FY22. For other projects, one each at Pune and Bangalore, we maintain our estimates for its launch in FY22. We are progressing well with our regulatory process at NCLT. Hearing is expected in next about 45 to 60 days for our demerger proposal for 6.5 acre land parcel into our WOS with about 3 million square feet commercial development potential. Thank you very much for your patient hearing, and I now hand over the platform for the next session from Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may please press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. To ask a question, you may please press star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have a first question from the line of Amanjeet Singh from Oculus Capital. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. So just one clarification. So in your investor presentation, you put upcoming projects, revenue potential 2100. So the code name Wadala is 1500 out of that, right?
Yes, that's part of that 2100 crores.
Okay. Sir, and the asterisks you put that like totally 3 other projects. So which are the 2 other projects that you mentioned in this?
Like we said, there are 4 projects. The one is at Wadala. There is one more in Bombay, one in Bangalore, and one in Pune. So totaling to 1.5 million.
Okay, so that is totally 1.5. Okay. Sir, my next question is, sir, on slide 32, sir, you mentioned that the rising to evolve and grow. So you've mentioned a number of discussions that are going on with the private equity firm. One in Mumbai, and I think 2 in one for brownfield, one in Mumbai, and one I think international. So could you please shed some light, or what level are these discussions, or what is the potential from them?
Yeah. So as regards to, we have the plans for 1.5 million square feet to launch. The another project which is at Mumbai. So we are at a very active and advanced discussions for that particular project with the Indian private equity major. And as we have explained on the last earnings call, we have this demerger plans from our main balance sheet for 6.5 acre land parcel into our wholly owned subsidiary. For that one, although the regulatory process is on with NCLT, which is likely to take another 2-3 months kind of a time, but we are keeping our options and discussions open, because at SPV level we want to develop this 3 million commercial potential development with a strategic partnerships. So for that one, the second discussions is with international players, as we mentioned in our investor presentation.
Okay, sir. So and the other one, sir, with the one for the project in Mumbai with Indian PE player. So this I got, so is the international alliance that you're talking about. So the other strategic partnerships?
Yeah, we are working towards we are working towards expanding our project portfolio, because we, as you know, that we are asset heavy in terms of existing land parcels which we have, and we are likely to bring phase wise development out of the land parcels. to complement this particular strategy, we are working towards JD, JDA and DM positions for our new acquisitions, and that particular piece is referring to that particular initiative.
Okay, sir. So the next phase of growth will probably come from those projects, sir, apart from the 4 projects that you've already announced in the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone who wishes to ask any question, may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Shanti Patel from Shanti Patel Investment. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. I wanted to know regarding Wadala project, when it is expected to start and when it is going to be completed. And all this, what about the starting point and completion point of all these 4 projects, so that, revenue visibility of the current year will become more clear?
Yeah, hi. Mr. Patel, the starting point of our the first Wadala project would be somewhere towards the last quarter, I mean this year, between October to December, where our permissions are already been applied, and we are hoping that everything should be in order and we should be ready to launch by then. And it's about 8 lakh square feet of development, which we expect to finish in at least 3 to 3.5 years time. Considering everything being normal and no stoppages in terms of other issues like COVID. So hopefully within this 3.5 years time, we should be able to finish that. As far as the other projects are concerned, which is in Bangalore one, it is also about we should be able to launch towards the last quarter of this financial year, that is between January and March, and that is also about a 2-year horizon cycle. The Pune one also should be between January to March, which is also about a 3-year horizon cycle. And the other one in Bombay is about 2.5 year horizon cycle, starting between January to March. So between January to March, we should launch the other Bombay one, Pune one, and the Bangalore one, which is on an average 2.5 to 3 years horizon for completion.
No, it will be completed in phases and given the occupation, or it will be completed in totality and given the possession?
Yeah, with possession. When we say completion, is with occupation certificate.
No, I agree with you, but it will be in phases. Means it will not take 2.5 years and then the revenue will be recognized.
No. We will launch the project and the revenue will start getting recognized from probably 3 months from when we start, or 6 months from when we start. This is the percentage completion method as per the income tax rules. And that's how we will start recognizing the project. So it will be, let's say if I'm starting in June quarter, July quarter, we should be able to announce something or show some revenues from those projects.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A reminder to the participant, to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Abhishek Kapoor, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations on good set of numbers. I have 2 queries. First, that we have reduced the loan, but the finance cost has gone up in this quarter.
Yes. You want to go with your next question as well, or you want me to respond?
You can respond. I will ask the second question after that, sir.
Sure. So, as you know that, we have the PBT margin for FY21, which was around, 11.5%, and we have around 11% as we have the Q1 number kind of a thing. And as you rightly mentioned that, we have been leverage our debt book kind of a thing. But this particular phenomenon is a recent one between, October, December and Jan, March kind of a thing. And this particular debt reduction significantly into the, Wadala market projects and where the loans are. And there where the projects are at an advanced stage, almost the, cost incurred and sitting into the WIP. and where this particular cost has already been incurred, and the projects are at such an advanced stage, like 95, 97% kind of a thing. So where the whatever the budget and the revision into this savings kind of a thing, it will maybe affected into the as we move on and on the completion and the 100% completion of this project.
No, sir, I have not understood. That is on the project level, but in overall, if you see the consolidated results, the finance cost has gone up. That means the overall debt, is, including working capital and long term, would have gone up, right?
No, this is the finance cost most attributable to the project construction finance kind of a thing. And as I explained that we have these loans which are getting reduced based on the sales collection, and the projects are at an advanced stage of the completion, and hence the finance cost which we have incurred, that is one which is we have on a proportionate basis from the WIP to cost allocation to PNL. We have brought in as a part of the cost allocation as we have sold the inventory kind of a thing.
So is it likely to come down in the next quarter? Can we say that?
Yes, as I mentioned that these are the projects at almost on a completion like 95, 98% kind of a thing. So we have significant inventory available in one of the projects. As we know that that inventory is getting sold out, the money is going to collect it, and this particular loans are going to be repaid out of this sales advances. That will give the better visibility. But as you rightly said, yeah, we are hopeful that by at least next 2 to 3 quarters, we should be completing these projects, bring the revenue to the books, and as well square off the entire loan book on this construction finance loans.
Right, sir. My next question is on the land bank we have. I believe that we had some 100 acres in Wadala and some 67 acres in Kanjurmarg. How much we have used, or how much we have completed projects on those lands? Kanjurmarg, I think we have not launched anything yet, but Wadala, how much we have consumed?
So out of the 100 acres of land parcels which we have in Wadala, we still have where it was divided into one third was garden, which was handed over to the government. 1/3 was already been developed earlier, and the balance 1/3 land, which is around 35 to 40 acres, is under consideration and under development. Out of which we have started development, and we still have around as per the current development rules, we have around 6 million square feet, 6 to 6.5 million square feet of development potential pending.
Right, sir. And Kanjurmarg?
Kanjurmarg is not yet started development, and it will, which we are hoping to start soon, and that is completely undone. So that is entire 67 acres is yet to be developed.
Right, sir. I have one request also, sir. If you can include the land bank we have in the presentation.
Right.
Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Done. All right.
Thank you very much. A reminder to the participant, to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Amanjeet Singh from Oculus Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, sir. Sir, just wanted to check. The last year, in the whole year, we collected about 520 crores, and that is in a COVID year. And in this quarter, we've done about 109 crores. So what can you guide? What would be the collections you think in this year, FY22, and just in case if you have FY23 as well?
Great. So we have collected 520 crore, and as you know that that was on the back of buoyant sales which we could clock between October to March, which was with a good amount of demand coming back, and as well the stamp duty concessions which was helping us to get into this particular numbers kind of a thing. This quarter we have collected almost around 109 crores, and going forward we are hopeful that this particular trend will continue, because this particular quarter was full of challenge in terms of 2 months out of 3 months quarter which was under lockdown restrictions. So we are hopeful that going forward this number on a quarter-on-quarter basis would be significantly higher than this one. And why I'm saying so, because, couple of mid-sized projects, mid-level of execution, I meant to say, which is, Sikova and Greenfinity. Those projects are at, significantly getting traction. And we are happy to say that, at Greenfinity, which is the affordable housing project at Wadala, we have clocked a good amount of sales. So as the execution progresses and we are ahead of this particular execution, so this particular collection will start kicking into our system as fast as possible, kind of a thing.
Great, sir. Great. So my next question, sir, our debt. So I believe our debt is about 700 crores right now, sir.
Exactly, 679. Yeah.
Right. So I just want to check. So to develop all of this future, so are we planning for a more asset heavy or a asset light? In the sense, are we planning to take any more debt, or are we trying to get more partners from a business model perspective?
It's a multi strategy that, where we have this kind of a project which is the next launch, 8 lakh square feet at Mumbai kind of a thing. We are going with a plain vanilla CF. And the strategic positions like, private equity player we are getting into for one of the project launch at Mumbai market. There where we are getting into, private equity money kind of a thing. So it is a mix of, as the project specs and the dynamics demands kind of a thing.
Right. So, but what do you see? I mean, like, given your project visibility, what do you see your peak debt as, or do you think that it's stay around these levels, just from that perspective?
So as we speak that, we have 1.5 million square feet to launch kind of a thing. And this particular, 8 lakh square feet will have a, leverage requirement of around 320 crore kind of a thing. And this one another project which is almost about, 50 to 70 crore kind of a requirement. So this is, scale of the project and the location of the project which will, determine the kind of construction finance requirement and the debt leverage as we move forward.
Got it. So then the gentleman before me asked one question. So you said out of the Wadala 100 acres, only 1/3 is what you've actually worked on, right? 1/3 is still left completely, right?
Sorry, how much?
So in Wadala, you said 1/3 you've given to the government, 1/3 is already earlier developed fully, and the last 1/3 is what you're working upon, right?
Yes. So which is having a total potential of 6.5 million square feet.
Okay, further, right? Which is not yet booked in revenue, right?
No, not yet.
Okay. So and does this include the commercial project also, which you were mentioning?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pritesh Chheda from Lucky Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Sir, couple of questions. So in your presentation, we talk about this combined figure of advanced stage and under development stage of pre-sales and sales revenue from unsold inventory. What is the corresponding cost, if any, which is left to be incurred on these two projects, that is advanced stage projects and under development projects?
Yeah. So as we
combined.
Sorry?
Combined number should be okay.
Okay, fine. So as we speak, we have, balance cost to spend for Wadala particular project is like, around 40 crores kind of a thing. And at a Bangalore market, we have around 220 crores as a balance cost to spend kind of a thing.
So about 260 crores is what needs to be spent, right? For a total of about, let's say, 693 plus 300, so about 1,000 crore odd, versus that 260 crores is to be spent.
Yes, sir.
And this 2,100 crore sales potential, this includes the 8 lakh square feet of the JV development which you're planning for Wadala, or it doesn't include that?
No, there is no JV development. That is our own development within the land parcel of Wadala what we have.
So the 800,000 square feet, or the 1.5 million of launches or incremental projects that you're talking about, that includes this 800,000 of Wadala, right?
That includes 800,000, yes.
Okay. So what are the timelines on these two projects, the bigger ones, which is 800,000 and the other bigger project?
So as I said earlier, we plan to get all the approvals and everything towards this last quarter of this year, that is October to December, and launch it during that time. And the other ones should be between January to March next year, 2022. And the timeline for the Wadala one should be 3.5 years, and the other ones should be between 2.5 to 3 years.
So the launch is in Q4 is what is planned, right?
Yes.
And what will your peak debt look like? So my guess is your peak debt would be something which will be visible a year from now because of these launches, a year and a half, let's say 2 years. So what should be your peak debt versus what is shown here at about 650 odd crores in the presentation?
So as I explained that, this 699, wherein, a couple of projects which are at advanced stage of completion, where the, debt is getting depleting at an accelerated manner kind of a thing. That particular debt is going to, repaid as we sell and collect the money from the customers kind of a thing. As we launch this Wadala project and the other Mumbai project kind of a thing, my estimate, Wadala project will have a leverage of around 300, 320, and another project in Mumbai should be having the leverage of 50 to 70. So both put together should be having the leverage of around, say, broadly speaking, 400 kind of a thing. And as we move forward, this kind of new launches will have the, project and the cash flows based construction finance obligations on those projects would be the leverage position as we move forward.
So overall, as you say that, there will be a reduction from the 700 and incremental from the new launches. So, but if to answer your question, we feel that, our envisage is to keep probably this debt levels at under 500 odd levels, but depends on, how and when the project is launching or how we are going to move forward. So that's where we are, we would have to take those calls. But our guess would be between 500 to 700 should be the loan size going forward, even reduction and adding new ones as well.
Okay. And lastly, what is the margin possible on this 2,100 crore of sales potential?
Great. So this particular potential of 8 lakh square feet, we are seeing that at a project level it should be EBITDA of around 40% plus as a project margin, and like Greenfinity, which is the affordable housing project, should be having around 20 to 25% kind of a thing. And as we undertake more projects kind of a thing, overall at an entity level the economies of scale also will kick in, and we should see a margin traction going forward.
But out of that 2,100 crore, I think bulk of it should be the Wadala project, right? So I think about 1,600 crores easily should be the Wadala project.
Yes, it's about 1,500 odd crores should be from Wadala, and the balance 600 will be from other projects.
Okay. So that is what the revenue visibility which we are bringing. Like, one project which we are, targeting should be having the revenue visibility of almost about 75% of our project launches of FY22.
Okay. And my last question is there any other method of or any possibility of a faster drawdown of leverage for us?
Sorry, can you come again?
Any other avenue or option available with us for a faster drawdown or reduction of the debt that is there on the balance sheet?
Well, if you look at the entire debt and the balance sheet, our endeavor is to reduce it as soon as possible. But of course, it is going to happen through sale, and that's where we are envisaging that we will have an accelerated reduction from our existing debt from our sales which are happening. As we told you, we already have around 300 odd crores of ready to move in inventories or almost ready inventory, which will capitalize this year. So major part of it will go in debt reduction of that. And coming forward with new projects coming in, obviously the debt would be for working capital requirements, because today, the basic reasons for us to probably continue with some debts is because if you look at, the Wadala project which we are going to do, That one where we have higher margins is because we have the opportunity to pay the premiums which has been given, the opportunity given by the government of Maharashtra, which is at a discounted rate of 50%. So if we pay this up before December, we are having a good saving in premiums, from our premium cost, which will help us in incremental of our profit margin. So definitely that will require us to take debt, because by paying off such a 150 to 180 crores towards premium will help us secure the project completely, get the entire permissions, and also secure a better profit margin. So definitely we would have to take loans. So it's a cyclical opportunity which we need to look into and probably take some calls. So obviously there will be reductions in one hand, but probably incremental from both for working capital requirement for the other projects.
Okay. Thank you very much, and all the best to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone who wishes to ask any question, may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Amanjeet Singh from Oculus Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So just one follow-up. So for the 8 lakh square feet project, so you had said that you're looking at an international alliance, right? So that is the same project?
Well, we are in discussions with a few private equity investors and fund houses and all of that, but nothing is concluded as of now. But nevertheless, we would be going ahead with the project and concluding the, all the permissions and everything.
So in case that money does come in, then you would not require the leverage of 320 crore, right?
Well, that would be, some part of it would be leveraged, and some part, primarily it would be leveraged in loan or, discussion. So definitely it would have leverage.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Abhishek Kapoor, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, one question. It's a little bit old, maybe you wouldn't be able to recall it quickly. In the last conference call, some gentleman had asked on the consolidated balance sheet, there was a loan visible of some 400 crores. So you had told him that you would check and revert. So is it possible to advise what was that loan actually shown?
So as we explained to this gentleman over a couple of calls, and we uploaded our clarification to the stock exchange as well, kind of a thing. So these are the step down non-corporate entities to this particular loans which we have granted, and those loans are more for the growth pipeline which we have been creating, and we should see that those projects will be coming into our as well when it matures, and it will come to the development, kind of a thing. So that is the kind of advances which the clarification and submissions now also.
Okay, can we say that these loans will be converted into land parcels or some projects eventually going forward this year?
Yes. Because to get into the particular acquisitions, kind of a thing, we are using this particular modality to not to expose the main listed balance sheet, and have the step down non-corporate entities to utilize for the acquisitions, kind of a thing.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As there are no further questions from the participants, I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Right. I would like to thank each and every one of you for sparing some time and coming and listening towards our earnings conference call. As we mentioned, our company is very much focused towards the rise of our company, and we will ensure that we will surpass all our expectations and move towards a great growth cycle in the coming fiscal year 21-22, and even going forward. So we look forward to meeting you again over our next conference call soon, and we hope everyone stays safe. Please take care, and looking forward to meeting you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. On behalf of Ajmera Realty and Infra India Limited, that concludes this conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.